Okay, so this video will be a short one for my architectural design course. We're going to add a ceiling to our main floor. We just finished up the last video on the flooring. Adding the ceiling is going to be pretty much the same exact thing we did with the flooring. We're just going to make a 3/4 inch thick ceiling with gypsum board, and we're just going to leave it. And basically, it's just trace the entire structure of the house to get your ceiling put in there, and it makes it really simple. Okay, so in order to do this, again, I'm under the architectural tab. We're going to go to ceiling, turn this on, and again, I'm going to go here. It has a compound ceiling. I believe the first one that came in, it usually starts with this 2x4 ACT, which is basically acoustic tile ceiling. We don't want that, okay? The acoustic tile ceiling is like what we have in the classroom. We would like to have a solid ceiling in the house. So I'm going to go down to here. I think we had a generic ceiling. That's what we started with. So what I want to do is do an edit type. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to call this interior home ceiling and say OK. You can come up with any name you want. In this case, material, we'll go in here and hit the little, hit the diamonds right here. We are going to go with this case. I'm going to go with gypsum board is what it's called, gypsum. Okay, and it's gypsum wall board. All right. I'm going to go ahead. It has a general plaster, like this is what it looks like. You don't have to have a pattern on there. I'm going to probably actually go with a little bit thinner, like a light sand. I don't want it so dense that I'm starting to get too many layers on my house. It's going to be hard to see and distinguish things. So I think I'll just go with a light one just so I know I'll have a ceiling in there. Okay, I'm going to say OK. Texture alignment, I mean, you can go into all this stuff. You can actually really get into some of how the appearances are. You can make how the texture looks. I'm just going to leave it as is. If we get into that point down the road, I can always come in later and redefine that. Okay, glossiness, there's not really a glossiness. Highlights, non-metallic. You could pick your colors, which is basically in this case, I'm just going to pick a white ceiling and make it okay. Okay, so it's 255, 255, 255. It's just going to look like a general white ceiling. Okay, gypsum board painted white. Real simple. I'm going to apply that. I want to make sure I'm going to say okay. I'm trying to go through. I think the material, I think that's good. Absorbance, looking ceiling finishes, that looks good. And at this point, I'm just going to say okay. Offset, okay, this is the big one. When I put this in, I want a 9-foot ceiling here. So right now the default is an 8-foot ceiling, so I'm actually going to change this 9 feet because I actually made my walls at 10. I want my ceiling at 1 foot or 9 feet. The extra 1 foot of space will be for the floor joists on the second floor. Okay. Now again, once I've done this, it's a 9-foot elevation. It's room bounding. I'm going to go in here. I can do an automatic ceiling, which for some reason doesn't work. I'm going to actually do a sketch ceiling. Okay, and it's the same thing. I could pick my walls, which I'll probably end up doing, or you can do lines. So I'll actually do this with lines to start because I'm going to do the garage first. So I'm going to do all the interior sections of the garage. Again, same exact thing we've already done. We've done this with our flooring. It's the same concept. It's nothing different. I'm just going to pick the interior lines of the wall where my ceiling should be. I need to make sure it's a closed figure. So again, I'm going to use my trim tool, trim extend, make sure I have 90-degree bends because it has to be a perfectly closed figure. And it looks like all my corners look good. Hit my check mark, and now I have a ceiling. Now you don't see this right now. If I go to my 3D model, okay, at this point I have to take the glasses because in the last video I turned off my ceiling. I'm going to turn my ceiling back on. Okay, I'm going to say reset. Okay, and I'm actually going to go in here and I'm going to take this one off. Delete that one. But now if you go to orbit, okay, what you'll see here is now I have a ceiling. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. I have a ceiling in my garage. Okay, so I actually have a ceiling and a floor in my garage. Now if I have my garage doors, I can actually hide those. I can actually come in here if you want to take a peek. I can actually hide a wall. You can simply go down to the glasses there and say hide element. And now if I go in here and peek, here we go. I can come in here and I'll do like a little orbit again. And sure enough, there's my flooring and there is my ceiling. Okay. This will be the spacing for my floor joist for my upper level, some insulation for our roof line and so forth. Okay, but that's basically your ceiling right there. All right, it looks paper thin, but that's okay. It's 3/4 inches thick. We'll be okay. Okay, we can adjust all that stuff later if we come back and realize it's not what we want. But I'm going to turn my wall back on. I'm going to say reset. Okay, and now I'm going to go back to my main floor. And one more time, I'm going to go to ceiling. I'm going to do my basic ceiling, interior home ceiling, 9-foot elevation. So leave it just like it is. And now what I'm going to do is, again, using my sketch ceiling line tool, I'm just going to work my way around the main floor, just picking my walls. And it's hard because now you can see it's picking up all the lines of your floor. So you just got to kind of be careful. Just really focus on those walls. I'm just going to do all the outside edges of these walls. I'm not going to do this area yet because we're putting stairs in there. But I am going to go in here. I guess what I'll do is I'm going to kind of cheat it. I'm going to go ahead and make my walls all the way around. I'm just going to kind of say, you know what, make a wall all the way through here. Just make it real simple. I could trace everything like we did the flooring and call it good, but I'm just going to make it real simple on myself. I do want this to be a 90-degree corner. I do need to make this a 90-degree corner. I think that should do it. I'm just going to look if there's any other places where it's overlapped. It looks good all the way around. So I'm just going to simply hit my check mark. Again, you don't see it really in the two-dimensional here. So let's go take a peek at our 3D. Go to my orbit, and now what you can see is if I go here, there is the ceiling on the main floor. Okay. Again, you could always hide a wall, walk in and take a peek what it looks like, but there is the ceiling all the way across. Okay, this little gap right here, we're going to have a floor sitting right here. Our floor joist will be in that fill space right there. Okay, so at this point, my home now has a main floor flooring. It has a ceiling on the main floor. And then the next videos, we're going to start talking about how I added in this upper floor, interior walls, and we'll begin building out our second floor. So hopefully that gets you what you need for your adding flooring and ceilings. Use this video to your advantage. Rewind, pause, and use it as you need to. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you have any, just email me or ask in class. Otherwise, good luck. Get that ceiling on the house.